The Rothschilds. The Rothschild family financed both sides of the Napoleonic Wars simultaneously, not because they lacked loyalty, because they understood that war has a winner and a loser, but debt has only a creditor. Mayor Amschel Rothschild sent 5 sons to 5 different European capitals in the early 1800s, creating a private intelligence network faster than any government's. They knew the outcome of Waterloo before London did. The family today controls private banking, mining, and asset management across 4 continents. 2 centuries of compounding. The original insight that financing power is more durable than holding it has never stopped working. The Rockefellers. John D. Rockefeller built Standard Oil into a monopoly so complete that the U.S. government invented modern antitrust law specifically to break it up. In 1911, the Supreme Court ordered Standard Oil dissolved into 34 separate companies. Rockefeller owned shares in all 34. His net worth increased after the breakup. The government's attempts to reduce his power made him richer. The Rockefeller family has since diversified into banking, real estate, and philanthropy so aggressively that the fortune is now impossible to fully trace. The original oil money was broken up by law. The family simply held every piece. The Waltons. Sam Walton died in 1992. His family is worth over $260 billion today, more than when he was alive. The Waltons own approximately 45% of Walmart, the largest company by revenue on Earth. Walmart employs 2.1 million people in the United States alone. The family's wealth increases by an estimated $70,000 per minute during market hours. They give away less than 1% of their net worth annually to charity, less proportionally than almost any comparable dynasty. The Waltons did not build Walmart. Sam did. They inherited it. The distinction matters because inheritance at that scale is a different economic category than wealth creation. It is wealth perpetuation. The two are not the same thing. The Kochs. Charles Koch spent 50 years building Koch Industries into the second largest private company in America. Oil refining, chemicals, paper, cattle ranching, while simultaneously funding a political infrastructure that reshaped American conservatism. The Cato Institute, Americans for Prosperity, hundreds of university economics programs, all Koch funded. Charles Koch understood that regulatory environments are not fixed. They are built by people with specific economic interests. He decided to be one of those people. David Koch died in 2019. Charles continues. Koch Industries generates approximately $125 billion in annual revenue and files no public financial disclosures because it is private. The family has spent decades ensuring it stays that way. The Murdochs. Rupert Murdoch built a media empire. Fox News, The Sun, The Times, The Wall Street Journal, 20th Century Fox influenced elections across 4 countries simultaneously. His publications backed Tony Blair, then turned against him, backed George W. Bush, shaped the Brexit debate. In Britain, a sitting prime minister's first call after winning an election is traditionally to Murdoch, not to congratulate, to report. The family succession drama, Which Sign Inherits Control, became so publicly documented that HBO dramatized it as Succession without changing enough details to avoid recognition. Rupert Murdoch at 93 remains in operational control. The succession question remains officially unresolved. His children are watching. The Mars family. Mars Incorporated makes Snickers, M&Ms, Twix, Pedigree dog food, Whiskas cat food, and owns a veterinary hospital chain with over 2,500 locations globally. The family is worth approximately $160 billion and has been private since 1911. No public shareholders, no quarterly earnings calls, no analyst coverage. The Mars family does not discuss its finances publicly, ever. Family members rarely give interviews. The company's revenue, estimated at $45 billion annually, is larger than many countries' GDP. A candy company that also runs one of the world's largest veterinary networks, owned entirely by a family that has spent a century ensuring nobody knows exactly how much they have. The secrecy is deliberate. It has worked completely. The Ambanis. Dhirubhai Ambani started Reliance Industries as a yarn trading business in 1966. His sons Mukesh and Agnellis inherited it and immediately split the empire in one of the most public family disputes in corporate history. Mukesh took oil, retail, and telecoms. Agnellis took entertainment, power, and finance. Mukesh became Asia's richest man. Agnellis declared bankruptcy in a British court in 2020. Same father, same starting capital, opposite outcomes. Mukesh's geo-telecom platform signed up 100 million subscribers in 170 days, the fastest adoption of any technology platform in human history. The split that looked like a family tragedy produced on one side one of the most valuable companies in Asia. Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim bought Telmex, Mexico's national telephone company, during a privatization process in 1990 at a price critics called artificially low. He then built it into a monopoly, controlling over 90% of Mexican landlines and a dominant share of mobile. At his peak in 2013, Slim was the richest man on earth, worth more than 5% of Mexico's entire GDP. One man, 5% of a country. His fortune is so concentrated in a single economy that Mexico's growth rate and Slim's net worth move in near perfect correlation. He has since diversified into retail, construction, and banking. The telephone monopoly remains the foundation. Foundations built in 1990 are difficult to dismantle. The Agnellis. Giovanni Agnelli built Fiat into Italy's largest industrial company in the early 20th century. His grandson, Gianni, became the most stylish man in Europe, a status he held for approximately 40 years without serious competition. The family today controls Ferrari, Juventus, The Economist, and Stellantis through a holding structure so layered that tracing actual ownership requires a specialist. Gianni's heir, John Elkann, runs the empire from Geneva. The Agnellis transformed from a car family into a holding company that happens to still make cars. Ferrari's profit margins are higher than any automaker on Earth. The Agnellis own 22% of it. Gianni would have approved of the margin. He always preferred quality over volume.